This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Bill, hey man, what's up, dude?
Hey guys, good to be with you.
Oh, always fun being with Bill King. Hey, Bill, I will be kind of all over the place a little bit today with spring break coming up and spring ball, sorts of stuff. Do you get out? Do you go on any trips, any wine tastings, any golf trips? What's kind of a vacation for Bill?
Really, no, but we have a summer commitment down on the Emerald Coast where we have stations that carry the show. So down there on the beach in the seaside, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Sandestin, watercolor area, we have an event down there that starts May 2nd. So that kind of answers your description there.
Yeah, no, I love it. A little working vacay. That's the way to do it. Hey, they had the baseball, I don't know what it's called, baseball classic of sorts in Arlington. I don't know if you took a gander at that or saw any bit of that and just the performance that Arkansas pitching staff put on. Is it early in the season, Bill? I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And early in the season, is it expected that the pitching might be a little bit ahead of the hitting?
I would absolutely think so, particularly if you're good. If you're a good staff. Obviously, Arkansas is and always will be. Yeah, I think so. I think what's so startling, and again, not an original thought, but I think it's getting even deeper. It was already, SEC baseball was already deeper than SEC football, which is a phenomenon, right? And I think this year it's even deeper. I think there are legitimately 5 teams. They won't all get in, as we know, but are Omaha teams without stretching the truth. I think you could go Arkansas. I think you got to throw A&M in there right now with the way they're playing. Tennessee, Florida, and probably LSU. I would throw LSU in there. You know, they took a loss to Stony Brook over the weekend. I'm not real worried about that. And I'm probably leaving somebody out there that's huge that I'm just misrepresenting, but it's a crazy league.
Oh, 60% of it is SEC squads as far as the top 10. Then you got Texas at 15, so it's only going to get stronger next year. Yeah. I believe Auburn and Alabama are still in the top 25 right now. South Carolina is in there. No question about it. How much do you put into account some of these early season games? I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But how impressive was that performance? But I mean, they went 2-1. Everything was a one-run game. But their 3 starters went 33 innings with 0 runs allowed.
No, it's incredible. It's incredible. Good competition, et cetera. It's very difficult before you get into league play, other than we know Arkansas's personnel is outstanding. But it's very difficult to mix and match how that would look when you mingle everybody. It just is. Mm-hmm. And that until we get in about 3 weeks, whenever that is, we start going head-to-head and everything. It is tough to say this game here meant that. Maybe you've got a bat or two on a certain team that's not fired up yet, that's not hot yet, that you know probably will be. The weather changes things as well. It's difficult early on, but I just stereotype Arkansas baseball. I don't care who trots out and who the next guy is, and I'm always going to have them elite. You have to.
Hey, Bill, it's Christian here. You know, the Razorbacks face some really good quality pitching in Arlington, and they won't be seeing quite that against Grambling. Does that help or hurt them, or is it just one of those things you got to kind of just get through it?
It can actually hurt you. Now, not necessarily in the long game. And in the long game, I mean down the road when it comes to the season. Pitching where you're used to seeing outstanding quality pitching, and then you go against a team where the fastballs are 85, and they're pretty much pitching you off-speed stuff because they know what's going to happen with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball misplaced pretty much 90% of the time what Arkansas is going to do to you. And I saw that in the Tennessee series. They played Albany, a terrible team. And they pitcher after pitcher coming in there, 83 to 85, maybe a guy with 87. A lot of off-speed stuff. They're up there hacking away like they're swatting butterflies. That can happen to you. I'm not going to predict that for Arkansas, but that does mess you up.
Hey, Bill, do you have I guess a take on this storming the court? Because we've been kind of talking about that with the basketball player kind of having a run in and what colleges can do, because it's kind of the college experience, students going to games, and I don't know if we're getting a little carried away with it. One of my things was when I watch soccer over in Europe, and if the home team does something wrong, they won't let home fans go to games for 3 games. So if you take something like that, you take the corporate suites out of it, you take the atmosphere out of it, and you don't let home fans go in for 3 games. I don't know what the solution is, but have y'all been talking about that at all on your show?
Has not come up, but my whole thinking has always been nothing's going to be done until they want something done. It's pretty simplistic. I don't think they want anything done. Now, you can sit there publicly and with PR sound bites say the right things and how horrible it was, which it was, but until you do something about it, and I don't know what the true answer is. I heard some folks say you would have to vacate the game or forfeit the game. I don't think they're ever going to go that far after a game's complete, but I don't know that there's any proof they really want something done about this, meaning the power brokers.
Well, I think you're right, because if you look at everybody's recruiting video, that's what the first thing they show is tearing down the goalpost or storming the court. So you might be onto something. Hey, are these? We just heard about this NIL deal for Jackson Dart getting his net jets miles. I don't know that it's that brand of airplane. Caleb Williams, the penthouse on the beach. You have Kentucky basketball players. You sign with Kentucky, you get an exotic car. What's some of the craziest things you've heard about some of these players getting?
Quinn Ewers got to go to Ohio State along with money, about $120,000 extra cab truck. I remember that. Now, that's not necessarily in your category of exotic.
No, that's big time. Yeah, no, that's cool.
I mean, I'd like to have one. I don't have one that big.
Yeah.
But Carson Beck purchased a Lambo. I don't know if that counts either. He's making 7 figures, so he can have a car collection. But I think we see those, and I think the perception, and I think what they want the perception to be is this is everywhere, and it's not. It's not that common. And the money that's being talked about that's so crazy, that's not that common either. But that's what you want the marketplace to think. And that's what's going on there. It's very profound to see that. And the average fan thinks that's just every street corner, and it's very rare. It still is.
What do you think? I mean, what will be a good? I know you can't. You're not really winning anything in spring ball. I mean, it's what should Ole Miss be trying to accomplish here in spring ball, because their hype train's going to be real. Are they just trying to get through it? What are they trying to do this spring?
You probably wouldn't say this, but just get your reps and do not get anybody injured. If you have to, put all your good players in bubble wrap every practice. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing that you're wondering about. It's guys, I go back as a kid to the 70s and 80s. And I think you know me well enough. I'm not going to say something just to see how some audience might react. This is by far the best Ole Miss roster I've seen in my life. Now, they've had a bunch of bad teams in there. I want to be relative to what I just said. It is a absolute playoff roster, and I'm saying bare minimum. I don't know if I think they could be the last team standing. I don't know if I have them there. They're bringing in 3 starting offensive linemen from Washington and North Carolina that are all 6'6", 330, that are starters and experienced. And they're bringing in Walter Nolan, and they're just a litany of names that they're bringing in to come back with a really good starting group from a year ago, players who were already there. Here's the other element. I think defensive line positions are gold. The state of Mississippi this last year, the class of 23, was loaded I mean, freaking loaded with ready-made defensive linemen, and they took all of them. They got every one of them. And I think most of those guys will rotate in a 2 or 3 deep. I'm not sure what they're missing. You obviously won't do better at running back than Sean Judkins, but I don't know if that's a premium position anymore, guys. They are. I'm going to overhype them, and history says you can't live up to original overhype. That's what history says, and I may overhype them here, but they are loaded by their standards.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do, and with that offensive line. To your point, I think that's kind of, if they feel like they have the best offensive line, you feel like you can find a running back to run behind that group. If I was to say Alabama or LSU finish, and I know we got a long time away, but who is this more important? Who is spring ball more important to this spring, Alabama or LSU?
Well, now, this is a horrible cop-out answer. It depends on which angle, right? Alabama has a complete coaching roster transition, plus some guys they had to replace who weren't there for 2-3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to find out. Here's the number one question about Alabama among all of them would be, is Milroe Kalen DeBoer's type quarterback? I don't think so. But we've got to get into the spring and let that all work its way out. You'll have some transfers based on this decision, too. And maybe Dylan Lonergan, the young kid out of Georgia, ends up being their quarterback. They also have a 6'6" kid from UW off that roster who is behind Penix, who they think is a fantastic prospect coming over. But, see, LSU has a defense, guys, that is bankrupt. They have a defense, guys, that does not exist. It is god-awful. When's the last time you thought about LSU football and you thought devoid of dudes on the defensive line? Guys, they're devoid of dudes on the D-line, and they didn't do anything in the portal to fix that. That's a problem, and that side of the ball has been 100% their problem. They've got to get that fixed, and I don't know if they get there. Yeah,
with finding a new quarterback, and then Perkins, I'd never seen a player that was so good one year and then not really the next year. I was really surprised about that.
Yeah, and Nussmeier's the quarterback. And remember when he came in the SEC championship game 2 years ago when Daniels went down, he threw in about 2.5 quarters for, 350 yards?
That's right.
He's not nearly as good as Jack Daniels. Don't, I'm not suggesting that. They'll be okay there.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.